Mr. Baeidinejad, you said that sanctions relief has been resolved. Can you clarify for that if that means that the issue or the problem of sanctions in the talks has now been completely resolved, that it's not an issue anymore?
No, sanctions have many aspects. There are unilateral sanctions, there are US sanctions, EU sanctions, there are UN Security Council sanctions. So there are many aspects. And I should say that many of these aspects have been resolved, but still there are some limited areas that they also need to be resolved. And we are now concentrating on those remaining technical aspects with regard to the sanctions.
So when you say some aspects have been resolved, is that referring to the financial or the oil sanctions against Iran?
Many of these aspects have been resolved, consisting of termination of oil sanctions, gas sanctions, financial, banking. Many of them have been resolved, but still there are a number of limited number of areas that are still under negotiations, which we hope we can resolve them, and then we can admit that the whole issue of sanction is resolved.
So, just for my own understanding, when you say that some sanctions are resolved,
Many of them.
means that sanctions that affect some fields will be lifted for sure at this point.
Sanctions on?
That affect certain fields, like
Sure,
sanctions,
sure.
will be lifted for sure.
There has been an understanding from a long time ago that these sanctions would be among the sanctions which would be front-loaded and be lifted. And we are now concentrating on some limited aspects of issues related to the overall sanctions, particularly sanctions of the United Nations Security Council. And only we are concentrating on those limited aspects now.
So you're saying that once an agreement, a comprehensive agreement is signed, automatically or immediately these sanctions are going to be lifted?
When we have the agreement and when that agreement enters into force, such sanctions would be lifted, certainly. Thank you. Thank you.